Good morning, JAGs. Today on JAG TV, we will catch up with some of the band about this season's show and their success so far.
And we'll also be looking at a new way for students to get financial aid for college. This is JAG TV. If you're a senior, don't forget that your senior dues of $48 are due on October 19th. You can go to Miss Kale in A322 or Miss Cobb in A353.
Blossom Athletic Center will be holding its annual college night on October 24th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Choir will be holding a concert tomorrow night at 7 p.m. in the auditorium.
If you're a junior and missed ordering your class ring, makeups are today during all 3 lunches.
It's not even the end of the first quarter and band already has impressive accomplishments to brag about. Here's Talia and Julie with the story.
For the month of October, fans have been able to enjoy the band on Friday nights, and while they were missed at earlier district games, they were out sweeping competitions. Band attended Bands of America or BOA contests in McAllen and Austin, walking away with the highest scores. BOA San Antonio is up next.
In the McAllen contest, the band placed first overall. There were 30 bands at the regional. Most were from South Texas. The last time we went down there was in 2015. We also won, so it's pretty cool to be able to go back and to defend the title. And then the harder of the 2 regionals was in Austin this year. We were first again. We were first last year. It's a real competitive regional, and the band took home awards for marching and music in prelims, and then in finals we won Effect. So it sets us up really well for UIL and for BOA at the end.
This year's band theme is Tremendous Sea of Love, which differs from past shows through its symbolism towards influential individuals such as Dr. Martin Luther King.
The show this year was in celebration of the 50th anniversary of Dr. Martin Luther King and of Senator Bobby Kennedy. Both of them passed away 50 years ago. And usually we do shows that are not so connected to maybe a single event or maybe an anniversary. So we use quotes in the show this year. And I think that the meaning of our show is more connected to something that is historical versus maybe thematic, like last year was the jungle, or in the past we've done shows about dancing or about Alice in Wonderland.
Only through rigorous rehearsals and practices is the band able to maintain its reputation, going above and beyond expectations every year.
It was really rough being out there when it was 105, out on the band pad with the asphalt, and it makes it tough, but that really gets us ready for our competitions. Being in Texas, our competitions are in Texas, obviously. So we went to the South Texas for our McAllen competition this year, and out on the field it was just as hot. So having those practices gets you ready for the physical aspect of doing a 13-minute show, running around, playing all at the same time, doing that in the heat. So that always gives us a leg up, being outside, being ready for the heat.
For JAG TV, this has been Talia Pimienta.
Student Council is sponsoring Boo Bucks this month. Rebecca and Ali have the details about how you can help out and where the money goes.
Little ghosts are haunting the classrooms of teachers to help Student Council raise money for their holiday project.
The purpose of our Boo Bucks fundraiser is to raise money to help us buy toys for the students in the elementary school that Student Council adopts every year.
Typically, Student Council would use revenue from homecoming to fund this project, but this year presented a few challenges.
So homecoming, it was a lot earlier than it usually is, about like a month earlier. So we didn't have as much time to put things together, to get things planned. I know the officers, we had to start planning at the beginning of August. It was raining and we couldn't do our outside portion as we usually do. So there wasn't as much profit we got from that. So we need to do the Boo Buck fundraiser so that way we can have enough money to raise money for the kids that we're buying Christmas gifts for.
So if you see a ghost in your classroom, part with some spare change for a good cause and a chance to win a class prize.
And the winning class period will get a party.
All donations must be turned in by October 26th. For JAG TV, this is Allie Turner.
October 26th is the last day to give Boo Bucks.
With application deadlines just around the corner, Aldara and Katie tell us about one new way families can fill out the FAFSA.
On October 1st, the FAFSA application opened up for all seniors.
The FAFSA, it stands for the Free Application for Federal Student Aid. It's the biggest and the best application to do to see if you're eligible for any federal or state aid.
And this year, there's more than one way to fill out the FAFSA.
This year, the biggest thing is that you are able, it's more mobile friendly, so they do have an app. A lot of students were completing it on their phones, on their tablets, so to make it a little bit user friendly, they did create a mobile app.
Some parents might not feel comfortable entering financial information online. However, it does make it more accessible.
I think it's great for people who are comfortable on the phone. I personally like to see everything in front of me on the computer screen, but I would feel that it would be secure either way.
The FAFSA ultimately unlocks all the types of financial aid that is available to students.
You have your grants, which are free money, which the federal government gives you free money to attend school. If you do have to take out any loans, the loans that you want to take out are the ones from the federal government. They have better benefits, better repayment options to help students repay after they graduate college.
And regardless of your family income, filling out the form can benefit every student.
I think it's important to fill out the FAFSA form because no matter what your income level, they may be able to help you, so it's worth trying.
For JAG TV, this has been Katie Peters.
The FAFSA deadline is January 15th, but the sooner you get yours in, the more financial aid is available.
With Halloween approaching, the Johnson Theater Department is working on their second annual haunted house.
Next week, Johnson Theater Department will host the second annual haunted house for those brave enough to attend.
I am a clown and I am also on monster management for the show.
Though the purpose is to scare those attending, the theater department has other goals set as well.
We treat it like a fundraiser, but we're also raising food for the food bank. Last year we collected over 2 pallets worth of food. If you bring 2 cans of food, you get $2 off of your ticket.
For those that attended last year, the theater department has something completely different in store.
This year's is a completely different theme. Last year our theme was Mad Scientist, and you went through idea industries and figured out what was going on in the science world gone wrong. This year our theme is a circus, and so you're going through a circus and figuring out what's going on at this circus, what is wrong. It's obviously not a happy regular circus.
And for those interested in attending, the department is working very hard to make sure everyone has a good experience.
A lot of work gets put into it, and it's different every time, so it's a very unique experience, especially like getting haunted in your own high school. That's pretty cool. So yeah.
For JAG TV, I'm Javier Juarez.
For more information, you can see Mr. Asterman or Ms. Thompson in room B162.
Baseball season can't come soon enough for athletes ready to try out the newest addition to the NEISD athletic facilities. Caleb visited on Wetmore.
NEISD baseball teams have been looking forward to the 2019 season for some time, and that's all because of an updated field with some really special features.
Very different than any football turf anybody's ever stood on. This turf is by AstroTurf, and it was put in by Swank, which means nothing except that it's really a turf that's designed specifically for baseball.
The facility was originally owned and operated by Sports America, but purchased by NEISD for $3.2 million in 2015. Voters passed the bond that same year to provide $10 million worth of improvements to the park.
When we did the 2015 bond, the baseball, we had just purchased the park and knew that we needed help with the BAC baseball field. We had 7 teams in only 1 field, so we were playing Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, so we needed to get a more regular schedule. Plus, we had a grass field, and if it rained, we were really backed up. So when we put out the 2015 bond, we looked and included that in the package, and it was approved by the voters.
District administration hopes that the field will get lots of use beyond the varsity baseball teams.
Baseball season starts the last weekend of January is when practice starts. So the first scrimmages are February 14th with games coming up about the 21st. So we will open for the first weekend of scrimmages. We're going to do a couple of other things. We're going to invite some different companies to come out here and have bat day and let little kids come out and see it so that they'll know that when they go to high school, this is where they want to play.
From JAG TV, this is Caleb Coleman.
Welcome back to JAG Sports. The Jags are just coming off their rout over MacArthur with new district contender South San up next. This is JAG Sports. It was Pink Out Night at Comalander with everyone sporting the color for breast cancer awareness and a special performance by some future Jags.
When the Jags met with the Brahmas, it didn't take long for the offense to heat up.
Scoring on the first drive, the Jags were able to strike early with a field goal by senior Brody Patty, With barely over 2 minutes left in the first quarter, running back Justin Rodriguez powers it into the end zone to increase the lead to a 10-0. Heading into the half, the Jags had a respectable 17-3 lead.
The Jags opened up scoring in the second half with another Justin Rodriguez touchdown and never looked back after that, as both defense and offense put on a clinic for the fans in the 31-3 win.
Well, we're gonna enjoy this one first for about 24 hours, and we're gonna celebrate a little bit and feel good about that, and then we're gonna come back on Monday morning and get started for another tough district game, which will be next Friday. So,
from Jag Sports, this has been Nick Casanueva
and Gabe DeLeon.
This Johnson senior has found a way to mend a broken heart.
While 17-year-old Clayton Ramey might seem like an ordinary student, it's what he does in his spare time that makes him extraordinary.
So, I have a Spider-Man suit. I do hospital visits, usually in like special treatment part of the hospital for like kids with cancer and stuff.
Clayton's visits to the hospital hold a special meaning for his family as well.
Well, my first reaction was that he came to us and said that he wanted to buy an authentic Spider-Man suit, which I kind of laughed because he's always been obsessed with Spider-Man, and just kind of laughed it off and asked him why, and then he said he wanted to go visit the kids at the hospital.
A surprise that he wanted to dedicate his time to do that. At the same time, I was excited for him, and at first, you know, when he said authentic Spider-Man suit, I'm thinking very expensive, but at the same time, I'm thinking that is the life experience that would provide for him. You can't put a dollar amount on that.
Being Spider-Man might seem like fun and games, but for Clayton, it embodies something more.
The reason I started it is because we lost a family member to cancer. He loves Spider-Man too. So it's a pretty good way to keep the legacy going and pay tribute to our family member.
If you would like to see the full documentary, visit myjagtv.com.
This week is National School Lunch Week. Preston and Jackson go to the cafeteria to learn more.
It's National School Lunch Week, but the cafeteria is always working to give students new favorites.
The National School Week, it's NSLW, that means National School Lunch Week. That's where we celebrate, you know, that we serve lunch for all the students in the district. So we do some samples, and we invite some of the administrators to come and help us serve. That way the students can see them on the line too.
And this year, the cafeteria has also invited school administrators and teachers to help out in the lines.
Also, I already invite all administrators, if they have time, to come and help us serve. That way it's going to be nice if the students see the teachers or the principal, you know, whoever want to come and serve with us. They're going to be here. I hope that we have a lot of participation on that, so that's what you're going to see. I hope you have a surprise of who's going to be serving with us.
And if you want to have a say in new menu items, this week is the time to try some new things.
We're doing samples. We're going to have samples 3 days of the week. The school lunch week is going to be October 15 to October 19. So we prepare samples. We're going to have on Tuesday, we're going to have turkey roast. It's going to be samples in all the lines. Also on Wednesday, we're going to have chicken bacon pizza. It's going to be samples also on every line. And on Friday, we're going to have the Asian honey chicken for everybody.
Of course, some students already have their favorites. Hi, Johnny. So the cafeteria has really upped their game and their new foods and stuff. So what's your favorite food at Johnson High School?
Chinese food.
Why?
It just tastes good.
Is that it?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Nothing else?
Nah.
You sure?
I'm sure.
So Isaiah, Johnson High School's really upped their food at Johnson. What's your favorite food at Johnson?
Honestly, I gotta say the cheese nachos. Honestly, the cheese is like really good on it, so that's really a smack.
Is that the only reason why?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Nah, the chips are good too. But.
Thank you. Hi Jenny, so the cafeteria has really upped their food. What's your favorite food at Johnson?
The Chipotle burrito thingy.
Is there a reason why?
No, I don't know.
No reason why?
It's good.
It's just good?
Yeah.
Sure?
Yeah.
No ingredients? Nothing? Okay. From the cafeteria, this is Preston Martinez for JAG TV.
Now, here's something fun from our crew.
Well, Buddy came
with his name. We got Buddy from my grandmother. And then Stella, we just saw her and we just thought she looked like a Stella. So we named her Stella.
My dog's name is Lennox.
How old is he?
Lennox is almost, I think, 3 years old now. Yeah, almost in December. I've had him since he was 3 months. I rescued him from the Humane Society.
Okay, and if he could have a secret life, what would he be doing?
If Lennox could have a secret life, he'd probably either work at the post office or like the DMV, because he is such a little old man. So that's a pretty good glacial pace for Lennox.
So we have 2 dogs. One's name is Fozzie, and he's an Australian Shepherd, a miniature, and he's almost 16. November 3rd is his birthday. And then we have Duke, and he's part Chihuahua and part Terrier, and he's 11. That's how old he is. He's 11. Yeah, he's our pound puppy. So when we got Fozzie and we were trying to decide what to name him, he was just this little ball of fur, and he looked like Fozzie Bear from the Muppets. So that's how he got his name, and we just call him Fozzie for short.
When we adopted Stella, the day we signed the adoption papers, we went out to dinner, and when we came back, we could not find an inhaler that we had in the house. And it turns out that Stella had got the inhaler, punctured it, and inhaled all the gases, and later that night threw up all over me.
Poisoned herself.
Yes.
That's all from this week, Jags. From JAG TV, this has been Colby Edmonds.
And Eldora Velasquez.
See you next time, Jags.